Hello my friends, welcome to Together Run 73. You can hear nature all around. I want to have you find some way to ground yourself in nature, in the elements, something around you. I am going to, those buds I mentioned last time I recorded a Together Run are a little bit bigger now. I've got like white tips. And gonna connect to them. Right, are we ready to go? I feel like I might need to pee. Well, we'll see what happens. Alright, you ready? 3, 2, and 1. Off we go. Oh, my hamstrings are very tight. Whoa. Alright, God, I feel like I'm like running with my hips like jutted forward. Whoa, they are really tight. Okay. I feel like I'm definitely running a bit funny right now. Oh, yeah, this is this is definitely very tight. I'll tell you why that is a little bit later, but let me try and find some kind of running form that looks somewhat like a normal gait or feels somewhat normal. Might just be taking me a little while. Yeah. Okay, well, welcome to this Together Run. If this is your first time being here, I'm excited you're here. Welcome. Got a little bit of a wind today. If this is your 73rd Together Run or more, at this point I've done probably close to 90 Together Runs at this point, which is very exciting. I should actually count what the 100th one is and see if we can do something special for it. Any ideas? You want to send me a message after you're done with your run for an idea for a 100th. That could be like a live one. You know, we all agree to run at the same time, or obviously not all. Various parts of the world's never going to work. Maybe I could commit to... Well, no, that wouldn't really work, would it? I don't know, I'm going to think about it, and you can do the same. But yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm excited you're here. I'm also sorry I didn't get one out last week. It was just, I was coming back from my injury, and it also was so cold that I just couldn't do the recording as I would have wanted to. It just didn't work out, and I know you are not mad about that. You understand. But yeah, I want to get back on track soon with every Monday on this feed. We've decided to put it back on the main feed every week because we know how important it is for us all to feel part of this community. And yeah, I'm realizing that extras of things is not so much what you need right now, or we all need maybe. We've already got enough demands on our attention. We want companionship and community. So yeah, let's lean into that. All right, so if you are new to a Together Run, or if you need a refresher, we always start with the nature check-in, as we did. And the next thing we do is we're going to work our way through some meditation-like activities, which are just designed to give us some quiet space together, but apart, to reflect, to check in with our bodies, and to just slow down a bit. Not literally, although if you want to slow down, feel free. There is no pace requirement here. Do what feels right for you. And actually, as it's been a while since I mentioned it, I'll go ahead and say, your runs, unless you're doing a workout or a hard day or has some kind of intention to it, should be easy enough to where you and I, like right now, if you were running next to me, could be having a conversation. Now, you can obviously hear me breathing, and I will say that your breathing, or my breathing, sounds a lot louder and like more intense than it actually is in person. The microphone just picks up that noise pretty clearly. But easy runs should be easy, which means even if your schedule or some pace or rate you've decided for yourself should be what speed you should, quote unquote, should be running at, it doesn't matter. What matters is what feels right for you. And like I said, my hamstrings, that's coming from 2 days ago. Usually do get more sore the second day after exercise, after something like that. And so I am going to run what feels right. Whereas if I was following a plan that maybe said, okay, the day after something, that's the day to go easy, and then you should be running this, you're going to set yourself up because you don't know how you're going to feel. So I encourage you, this is your reminder to slow it down if you need to. At any point, if you want to back off, that's okay. Just do what feels right for you, because that's the best pace, not one that's been prescribed. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our body scan, which is going to be, I'm going to call out parts of your body as we go down. You're going to scan through almost like a wave of light going across the various parts of your body, and you're just going to check in. Just allow your attention, your awareness to be in those various parts of your body as you work your way down to see how they're feeling. You ready? Okay. Starting at the top of your head, working your way down. As you work down, going into your eyes, make sure they're not squinting, not holding any tension. Continuing on into your nose and into your mouth and jaw, making sure you're not clenching or holding tension there. You move around the back to check in with the back of your head and continue on down to the back of your neck. As we come round to the front, checking in with the front of the neck as we move into the chest and shoulders. As you continue on down, we're going into the upper arms. As you continue down through your upper arm, your elbow, checking in with your forearm before you go into your wrist and hand. Oh, you're fine. And hand and fingers. I did think she was going a bit slow as she was coming to pass me. I was like, why is she driving next to me? But she really did not have a reason to apologise. I guess maybe I'm just more comfortable with cars around than most people, but for being in England. Anyway, all right, let's continue on. As we go back into chest, going through your chest, down into your stomach. As you continue on down, going around the back, checking in with your lower back. As you continue on down into your hips and pelvis, going all through there, just letting your awareness check in with every part of you. As you continue on down into your quads, your upper legs, and the front and the back into those hamstrings. Mine have thankfully loosened a little bit. Continuing down to the back of your knee and the front of your knee. As you continue on down into the calf and shin, your inner ankle, your outer ankle, into your heel and the arch of your foot, checking in with the top of your foot and into your toes. How's everything feeling? Just take a few seconds to reflect. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely some wind here today. It doesn't usually come through on the mic, but if it is, I apologise. I'm actually using my original mic, by the way. I found it. Don't know if you remember, those of you who've done many of these. I lost it. I couldn't find it anywhere. tried to do without it for a month, and then ended up just buying another one because I looked everywhere. Well, I found it in the area I thought it was, but it just somehow fallen behind some photo albums. And I'd obviously like pushed the photo albums in at some point, thinking why they were sticking out, because it was kind of a bit misshapen, like it's kind of quite flat now, whereas before it was like a round ball. So that's quite funny. But anyway, hopefully this works. It's seems to be. But then this morning I couldn't find the original one because I put this one aside for my travel one now. So anyway, how's your body feeling? For me, yeah, hamstrings still tugging a little bit. But beyond that, everything feels pretty good. Maybe still a little bit tired overall, just body. Also do need to pee, so knowing myself, I'm probably not going to be able to hold it the whole way, so I may start looking for a porta potty to stop at. Okay, so let's continue on with our next part, which is our senses check-in, and check in with our 5 major senses. Oh, there's a porta potty, but it's way back in someone's backyard. My area can be a bit finicky about, like, in that paper that I always complain about, they have like crime reports, and there are always things like literally that would be something that would get on the crime report. Suspicious looking woman seen in backyard throwing papers and then going in backyard. I don't know, like, so I might not use that one. Okay, right, so to begin, I want you to take 2 nice deep breaths, or as deep as you can take, obviously, for running. So let's go ahead and do that. It's okay if it's not that deep. What do you smell? I smell like baked something, like croissants or pancakes or something. What do you smell? What do you taste? I taste toothpaste. Native toothpaste, by the way. Native, I've mentioned before about them for deodorant. They now make toothpaste, which I like. But even more so than Native, I still like Bite the most as an environmentally friendly toothpaste. They're little like tablets, I suppose, that you chew down and use them. But I just have a quote-unquote regular toothpaste as well, so that I'm not just using those Bite tablets because, while I think they're great and I really love using them, there's a little part of me that just isn't 100% sure they're enough to handle modern day living and the foods we eat. So Native is now my second one, and I got like a candy cane flavoured one this time around, so it's kind of fun. Anyway, morning. Okay, so next I'm going to have you just either, if you want to remove your headphones and listen to your surroundings, or if you want to just listen to mine and decide what you can hear from mine, you're welcome to do that too. But I want you to just be in your ears, to listen and notice what you hear, what sounds are around you, especially sounds that you wouldn't typically pay attention to. And then I just want you to, be present in there. So let's go ahead and do that now. few more seconds. Okay, what was it you heard? Either in your surroundings or in mine. For me, I heard cars against the tyres and the sound of the engines, which I now notice because having a hybrid car or noticing electric cars around, you know, what we think is a normal noise of a car is actually like, you know, the engine, and may not be the normal noise of a car in the future. So it's going to be interesting to follow along with that. So I had to hear the wind against my ears. I had my feet pattering on the floor, birds, leaves running across the ground. Yeah. So thank you for checking in with your sense of hearing. I'm going to actually have us pause, or I'm going to pause here. You're not really going to notice any different because I am going to run and pee. So, okay, you wouldn't know any different, but that was something I could tell I was not going to be able to hold it without having to concentrate. Earlier this week I had to do some jump rope, and I hadn't done jump rope since I had kids, and definitely feels a bit different, and as you get tired, kind of hard not to pee. So yeah, anyway. Right. So we've done hearing, we've done sound, we've done taste and smell. So next we're going to go ahead and do touch, tactile, just being aware of the movements and sensations of your body itself. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just be in your body. Follow where your attention goes. Notice what areas jump out to you sensation-wise. And if it jumps from place to place, that's fine. If it's kind of hovering over something, that's fine too. But let's, let your body be. Let's go ahead and do that now. If you've wandered away, that's okay. Just check it back in. How's everything feel? Final few seconds. Okay, what sensations, what sense of touch was jumping out to you during that time? For me, definitely my hamstrings are kind of like, hey, 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 with every step. But beyond that, I feel the wind on my face, feel the wind on my upper arms, I feel cool air on my fingers. It's not unpleasant, and I feel cold toes. that's about it, really. Okay. And finally, a sense of vision, a sense of sight. I want you to check in with that and just spend the next little bit of time just looking around your surroundings. And as always, I want you to make sure you pick out a few details somewhere. Pick something that you wouldn't normally pay attention to, just some small details, as if you were taking a mental photograph of that, whatever it is, just to really be present there and be in the experience. So let's go ahead and do that now. And if you've got something with the detail has kind of drawn your imagination, you start to tell yourself a story about it, or you begin thinking about it, just make a mental note of whatever that was, and I'll give you some space to think about it in just a minute. But for now, you're just noticing things with your eyes. Try and gently bring yourself back to that. Final few seconds. Okay. What did you notice? What were the details that were jumping out to you? And I'm just going to give you 30 seconds or so in myself, some time to think about that thing you noticed and follow that story or wonder that thing about it. Let's just go ahead and do that now. Okay. What were you thinking about in that time? I had two things. The first I saw at the beginning of my looking for details, which was this old fence that had ivy growing up it. And I just thought about, how ivy is just so, yes, I guess in many ways, especially here in the US, ivy is not supposed to be here, like English ivy I'm talking about. So it's invasive and extremely damaging, as it chokes the trees and makes them fall. But I was thinking about just how resilient it is, how it figures out how to hook on to all kinds of things. You can see it even around like telephone poles, and I don't know, it's just kind of cool in a way that it creeps up things that just shouldn't be creeping up. And trees themselves, I suppose. The second thing that came to me was just how some trees, most trees that I think of, the branches go out sideways, and all the like small offshoot branches also go sideways. But there are some trees where they seem to go up, just like straight up. Like not the main branches, but the branches off the main branches. And I wondered if that was, like, I'm sure some trees, that's the way they do things, but I do wonder if some of it is like, is that pruning that does that? And maybe someone's I don't even know what the term would be for a tree expert to tell me that. Like, because my neighbour's house, they have the same tree as us. Remember I talked about my invasive tree, but their branches are all going up and ours are all growing out. But I know that my neighbour prunes his branches and always has. So I don't know. Anyway, if you have the answer to enlighten me there, I'd love to hear. Okay, so 30-minute group. You have about 3.5 minutes. We all have 3.5 minutes, or probably about 4 minutes till our first stride. 2 strides we're going to do. I'm not going to begin on anything big, but I am going to ask you, how are you? Really? You should just take some time, really dig into that question. How are you? Really? Few more seconds. Keep digging in. Okay. Thank you for answering that reflection question with me and for checking in with yourself, even if had we been running in together, you would have never actually said that to me. But at least you can work through it yourself and be having that moment of quiet to reflect and maybe question and think about it. Just coming around you. Okay. Right, so we got about 30 seconds. Definitely not going to go into my own answer to that because you know me, I'm not going to be able to say it. Actually, I will tell you, yesterday I was talking to a friend who was our producer at Running Realize, John, and we're close and we talk often, and I was telling him about needing to make this pitch for this company, and I can't tell you anymore right now, but and I asked for his help. I was going to ask for his help, and I told him about the idea, and I was like, and so I need your help because I'm not exactly, and he starts laughing like hysterically. 30-minute crew come to a walk, he starts laughing hysterically because he's like, yeah. And it was just funny because he knows me so well that I'm not, and you do, know me well enough at this point to know I'm not good at getting to the point. Anyway, so that was just quite funny. All right, so we're going to do 2 strides. Everyone, regardless of if you're in 30-minute group or 45 or 60, we're going to do 10 to 15 seconds of running about 80% of your max. 30-minute group, you'll start from the walk like you are. The rest of us will just start from our run and jog in between. 30-minute group, you'll walk in between. And we're trying to run, about 80% of our max. We're not trying to take big steps. We're actually trying to take little steps. It's just to shake and wake the legs up. You ready? 3, 2, and 1. Off we go. Okay, come to a jog or a walk. Just gonna give ourselves another 30 seconds or so. We'll do one more. 30-minute crew, you can then be on your way, or you'll come to hang around. 45 and 60, we'll keep on going. I want to ask you at this time, you can have, there's many ways you can support me. If you want to go on Patreon and just be a supporter, that is much appreciated. If you want to leave an iTunes review, that's a massive help, especially as I've been having a few negative ones recently. The 2 top ones are not so great, so you could push those down. If you did that, that would be much appreciated. And probably my favourite selfish way is when you finish taking a picture of yourself or your surroundings, so I can pretend we are running together and envision it in my mind. I really love to see those photos, especially if you share them on social, but even if you don't and you just send them to me, I love seeing them, so thank you. Right, let's do a second one. 3, 2, and 1, off we go. Whew, this is rough. And come to a jog or a walk. 30-minute group, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you being here. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on... Oh, actually, I would love for all of you to listen up for just a minute before you go. 30-minute group. Today, the day you are listening to this, our Red S Recovery resource goes live on YouTube. It would mean so much to me if you could go check it out. It goes live today. The more views and people watching these videos I can get on that first day is a massive help to me. So if you listen to this any day this week and you can go watch some of those videos, I guarantee you will learn something, either about yourself or someone close to you, or a running friend or something that will be valuable and important. It would mean so much if you would go check them out. Check out the playlist that speaks most to you. And if you could share it with people in your running community, especially groups and stuff, that would be amazing. My team has worked so damn hard on this for months. So yeah, if you could go check that out, I'd really appreciate it. Okay. All right, so for the rest of us, we've got about 11 minutes until our next set of strides. How am I, really? I feel tired. I stayed up pretty late last night. For me, I think I fell asleep about 12:30, went to bed about 11:30. Just have got up early every day this week, not really got the sleep. And yes, I have started strength training this week. I'll tell you more about that in my updates, but that's the reason I'm sore. It's also making me feel quite tired, because it is so, we were doing a lot of testing and baseline stuff, so I was like maxing out on things to get like a starting point, which by the way has been so humbling to see how strong I used to be when I was working with Drew twice a week consistently to now. It feels different to the running. Like the running I kind of, you're like, you see it, but this is pretty humbling to see. Okay, and then emotionally I feel good. I had a really nice evening last night with a friend of mine who came over, and we had pizza, and the girls were just like, Steve was at a meet, the girls were just like in heaven, like just having so much fun. And he's a hairstylist, so sorry, it's really windy, so he did their hair. Woo. Sorry if you can't hear me. He did their hair, and it was, they loved it, and he read to them, and it was really fun, and we just sat and talked for hours, so it was really nice. And then, so I feel quite like on a bit of a high from that, just like, friend coming to me, because that doesn't really happen very much. Most of the time I meet people out for like a coffee or something, rather than someone coming to have dinner with me when Steve's gone. It's nice to have some company. I'm also feeling excited for the year, of what's to come, of this Redis thing that when you listen to this will be live. I feel a bit nervous about it too, because as I said, we've worked so hard on it, and I really believe it can make a difference in our community, and I think it's going to be pretty eye-opening for a lot of people, and I hope especially at the coaching level at collegiate and high school can be pretty impactful. But you never know with these things. Many times in my past I've thought things were going to be so important and needed and appreciated and kind of spread, and they haven't. Like running Realize being the key one, that was so important and so good. What we made was so good. I'm still so proud of it, but it didn't take off like I hoped it would. So there's that like fear of failure thing. And not that I think running Realize was a failure, but it didn't really, the result and how it didn't really correlate to the time, energy and money put into it. So, and this thing, the Redis thing, isn't something that like is being totally paid for. Like it wasn't asked for. It was just something I've wanted to make for years, probably 5 years, and it's something that I just wish I had. I wish I knew. So I hope, so I feel nervous about it. But that's enough, I think. So, next, I would love to ask you, what updates do you have for me since we last ran together? So, why don't you go ahead and just, what would you tell me if we're running together right now and we hadn't run together in a few weeks? What would you want to say? Or if this is your first run, what would you tell me about you? So let's go ahead and do that now. wandered off, gently bring yourself back. What updates do you have? What's been going on in your world? Few more seconds. Okay. Thank you for sharing what you've been up to, what you've been doing, what's going on with you. I know I can't actually hear it. I do love when you share on social media and tell me some snippets about your life and show what you see. So if you want to do that, then tell me. I'd love to hear what you're thinking about in your world. Okay, so got about 3 minutes. You know me, I'm definitely not going to get my full update in 3 minutes. So let's go ahead and do another body scan now. Then we'll do our strides, and then I'll give you my updates. Okay, so you can do it at your own pace, whatever feels right, or speed of scan, whatever feels right for you. What body areas are jumping out to you? Just go ahead and take a minute now to do a body scan. Few more seconds. Okay, how's your body feeling now compared to is it half an hour, 40 minutes ago? How's it feeling? For me, I am really glad I chose to do my long run tomorrow. Something just told me not to do it today, and that would have been rough, because my body is just feeling tired. I feel like I've been saying that a lot on these runs, and generally I do feel pretty good most days. So yeah, just I think part of it is for me that I'm losing fitness as the weeks go by, because I'm not really doing much, at least not speed stuff and hard workouts. And like the runs, I've missed a lot of runs over the last 3 months, and so I think I'm like slowly losing my fitness to where just like a regular run is not as like automatic and easy as it has been for most of the last 10 years. Right, come to a walk, 45-minute group, give you about 30 seconds. We're all going to do 2 strides. And then 45-minute group, you can be on your way. And the rest of us do our final 15 minutes, give you some updates. You can just catch up a bit more and see where the conversation goes. So you ready to do a stride? 3, 2, and 1, off we go. Okay, come to a jog or a walk. Give you another 20 seconds or so and we'll do another one. Once again, if you can leave an iTunes review, share it on social, or especially this week, go check out our Red S recovery resource on the Running for Real YouTube. That would be so appreciated. It's a massive help you can give me. And also, just add, if you want to help me hack the system on YouTube, you can, like, even if you have already watched something, you can like watch a playlist and just leave it on and walk away from your computer, so it continues to go count to our list, watched hours, because you have to get, how many is it, like I can't remember what Sally said, like 900 hours something of watch time before YouTube will let you start paying, or will start paying you for ads. So if you can help me, if you want to go above and beyond and help me get up there, you can just click a playlist and let it play while you're not there. You have to keep it front of screen, I think. So, yeah. All right, ready for another stride? 3, 2, and 1, off we go. Okay, come to a jog or a walk. 45-minute group. Thank you so much for joining. See you on Friday. Actually, I'll say on Friday, the episode coming is with my coach from school, Brad, who you've probably heard me refer to in almost every interview I've ever done on a podcast that I've been interviewed. Brad was my coach. Without him, I literally would not be doing this with you right now. I don't know where I would have gone. There's no way I would have been still running. Like, I owe him everything. And he's such a quirky, fun guy. So this is really different episodes, very personal. But you get to hear the other side of his version of the events. So, yeah, check it out on Friday. Okay, 45-minute group. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. All right, for the rest of us, I've really been slow today with I swear usually I'm on updates for like 30 something minutes. Okay, so what updates do I have? Well, as I mentioned again, the Red S resource has been taking up most of my attention and energy. With that coming this week, really wanted to make it effective. So it's 50 videos on YouTube, all 2 to 5 minutes long, of me asking experts, not all the questions, but like all questions that I have been submitted or given over the years about not having a period, amenorrhea, Red S. And as you may have seen me saying in other places, Red S is not just for females. It affects males too. It is not just for skinny elites. It affects people regardless of their weight, their size, their pace, the amount of miles run. It even is affecting you, from stress sometimes. Not even anything to do with your running. So I encourage you to go check that out, because as I said earlier, you will learn something, guaranteed. I know I did. and my team did. But also, it's really important to kind of get this out there. So if you have a running club, or especially if you have some affiliation with a high school coach, or cross-country or track team, or a collegiate team, that would be super helpful to get it to them. And not to for myself. I have not done this resource for myself. I have done this because this is what I wish I had. And I felt so alone, and I just don't want people to feel that way. So then the YouTube thing is one thing, and then there's a separate private resource for people who know they have Red S or have found out they have Red S through the videos, who want a private community while they recover. And there's another 50 videos on there of me asking the experts about questions related to recovery. Again, all things people have asked me over the years. So that's what I've mainly been working on. I did have a call with Chicago Marathon yesterday. I will be in Chicago for the Shamrock Shuffle and the Chicago Marathon. I will also be in Boston for Boston weekend. Don't think I'm running anymore, but I think I'll be there. And then I will actually be in London for the London Marathon weekend. I want to just say, Matt, if you're listening, you are amazing. Thank you. Yes, I'll be there the London Marathon weekend. Definitely be doing a lot with Tracksmith, trying to work some stuff with the race itself. And so that's very exciting. And then finally, New York. I will definitely be in New York Marathon weekend. I'm probably going to be running it with someone you know from the podcast. We'll talk about that later. And then I'll be at various other events with book launch. So I guess that's the other updates. Our book is really coming into the finish now. We don't have the cover yet, but the pre-order link is now up, so you can go get yourself a copy on Barnes & Noble, bookshop.org, where else? The A Word, Amazon, all over. And I don't judge you if you buy it on Amazon. At the end of the day, they're a big part of this, and it can't be done without them. Also on Waterstones if you live in the UK. So go ahead and order that, because if you can, because all pre-order sales count to the first week of sales. So if the book is to become some kind of bestseller, most of that has to come from pre-order sales. So you ordering it early is a massive nudge and indication to the publishing industry that this book is to be paid attention to. And also, Zoe and I will be recording an audiobook, so there will be an audio version as well. So yeah, that's very exciting as well. Starting to get event plans for some cities. If you have a suggestion of a city you think I should come to, Zoe and I will probably be mostly dividing and conquering, just because we can't be more with my kids, and Steve's schedule, her with her day job, we just can't go to all the places we would like to together. So if you have a city you'd like me to come to, I would love to hear it, hear your suggestions. If you have a local bookstore, feel free to reach out and let me know. I'm very excited to do some exploring and book stuff wherever. Although obviously if you live somewhere that's pretty far out of the way, either in the US or in the world, out of the way from America, I will need some support to get over there in terms of like, do you have a brand or something that could help with expenses? Okay, we've got about 2 minutes before we go ahead and do our strides. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Still trying to figure out my running, what that's going to look like the rest of this year. I definitely want to do an ultra, just which one. Ryan Montgomery is helping me to figure out which one to do. But beyond that, I think that's it. Kind of getting like an itch to travel, but I know the second half of my year is going to be pretty crazy, so I'm trying to like just embrace being home, because in the second half of the year I'm probably going to want to be home more, as I'll be trying to get the book out there. And one final thing that just came into my mind. I met an English person yesterday, or a few days ago, at a park near me. He just moved here, him and his family, his American wife and daughter. His daughter is English. Just moved here. And so we exchanged numbers, and I'm very excited to have some English friends, or at least an English friend who I can hang out with here, because that's one thing I definitely don't have. So I feel excited about that. Already too excited. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do our strides in just a minute. And because you can run for an hour, you can just jog in between. We're going to go into it before the hour mark. We're going to start at 58 minutes. And you can just jog as slow as you need to in between. So we can just ground in with nature. I'm just going to remind you once again of those things. I'm not going to say all of them, but if you could help me out, there's lots of links in the show notes. It's much appreciated. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out, I'm a little bit short. I'm going to run this way till we hit 58. Okay. All right, I'm going to flip. And you ready? 3, 2, and 1. Off we go. All right, come to a jog. Just jog for probably 45 seconds, and then we'll do another one. Final stride of the day. I gotta pick up this paper. It's been annoying me for days. Hamstring's still tight. All right, here we go. Okay, ready? Let's do another one. Wait, no, we can't be already doing another one. Okay, now 3, 2, and 1. Off we go. Oh, this really does not feel very good strides right now. Okay, come to a jog. Got our final minute. We'll come to a walk. And then you can be about your day as feels right for you. I'm going to remind you, Friday episode is going to be with Brad, my coach. It's definitely a bit different. This is not our usual interview style. This is just two people with a very deep bond who, he changed my life, and I wanted to hear it for myself, but also just kind of share it with you, because maybe you have someone who you reflect on positively with your life, and I should be talking about that next Monday for our Together Run, of like who that person for you was, because I think we all have someone like that who, come to a walk, who was such a key person in our life. Whew. Got a leaf in my mouth. Oh, had that get in there. All right, I'm going to touch a different kind of bud on this tree. These look like little mini flowers. Spring is soon coming. And, I love hearing those birds. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful day. I've put all the links in the show notes, and hope to see your photos online soon. Remember to take that picture if you didn't already.